Oh my gosh, first cast. Should you subscribe to Mystery Tackle Box? I just received the Trout and Panfish Pro Box, valued at $40, and we're gonna open it up and see if it's worth it. All right, I haven't opened it up yet, so let's cut the tape and crack her open and see. Scan this doohickey with your phone's camera to get them. So what this does is offer tips and stuff for rigging and fishing. We've got a live target minnow, a little bitty crankbait essentially, or a jerkbait, little tiny jerkbait. Pretty cool. We've got a leech flutter spoon. That one looks really good for some of the trout that I fish. We've got a bass eating, what's Nemo's dad's name? Dang it, and Dory. That's funny. That's a sticker. And then we've got some biosilicone glow lures. It's kind of neat. We've got some Lunker Hunter Hive Micro Wiggler. That's interesting. I've never used these. I have to check them out. Then we have Pond Pro Squirms. And lastly, topping it off, those almost look like a shaky, oh no, it's got a bill on it. Fish Luck, World's Luckiest Tackle, Original Scrounger. It's a 1/8 ounce #1 hook. So these are interesting. It looks like it turns it into almost a vibrating jig or something. I don't know. It's got a weird, no, it wouldn't vibrate because it's just plastic. Maybe it just helps your lure go through the weeds. I don't know, but interesting. So all this is supposed to be valued at $40. I am gonna sit at my phone, look it up and see if that is accurate or not. And then we're gonna take it all to the pond and play around with some of this stuff. So first up, let's just do what's on top here. This is the Leech Flutter Spoon. What brand? CPT? It's Glow UV. CPT Leech. There we go. $6.99 online, so $7. Calculator, $7. Next, Live Target Minnow. So we'll just even do it on the cheap end, $8. Next, we'll do these. Fish Lucky, $7 plus another $7. Alrighty, next we have the Pond Pro Squirms. That would be them, $5, $4.99. Next, we have the Lunker Hunt. These are also $5 plus 5. And last one, Fish Daddy. That's actually what they are. Fish Daddy Biosilicone Glow Lures. I'm gonna bet they're another $4.99 because that's what the others look like. So plus $5 equals $37 total dollars is what the gear was worth. Then I'm sure they include that the sticker is worth something to get about $40. I would rather have $40 of gear than with the sticker, but it is about $40. So you might be saving a little bit of money. But the real question is, does this stuff actually work? So that's where we're headed next. We're headed out to the pond to try and catch some bluegill, sunfish, whatever's biting, maybe some small bass with this gear. All right, we made it down to the pond with our mystery tackle box. I'm gonna use only what's inside to see if I can catch fish. Well, almost only what's inside. I've got a rod and reel that I'm gonna rig up. I may or may not use a bobber. But other than that, I'm only using what's inside the box to try and catch fish. All right, so I decided to start with the Live Target little jerkbait minnow. I think we should be able to catch something pretty quick with this, and that's the goal after all, is catch something today. So I think this is gonna be our best bet. If not, I'm going back up with the Lunker Hunt Micro Wiggler. Those are not kind of interesting, they're really interesting looking, something that I've never used before, but it reminds me of this little lure right here that I've been using a lot in this pond. Caught a lot of fish with it. So I would think that's a good backup plan. All right, we got it tied on. I'm gonna strap the GoPro on and get to fishing. Let's get to fishing. All righty. Is it a sinking or a floating? It sinks. Oh my gosh, first cast. No freaking way. there you go. That's funny, too funny. Well, didn't have to try very hard, but clearly the lures catch fish. Not a giant fish, but it caught fish. Look at that. Boom. Just like that. First cast. We're gonna fish a little bit more, because that was just too easy. Too easy. Come up out of there. It's also good for snagging some grass. So if you're a grass angler, there you go. Just something hit it right there. All right, let's go switch to a different one. I might have to fudge my rules a little bit because these hooks are giant. This is a giant hook for this little lure here, soft plastic. I just think this is way too big. So we'll give it a shot. No promises on this one. Oh, I had a bite. I saw him. Holy crap, I've never seen that before. It's a little damselfly. He's stuck to my bait somehow. How did you get stuck there, buddy? There you go. And he flew off. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah, this weight's too heavy, hook's too big. If I had a little bigger soft plastic, it'd be perfect. But let's go get that bobber. Too deep. I think this hook's too big. Pulling in the weeds. Alright. I didn't think it would work, but we gave it a shot. Definitely use a smaller hook. It is called a micro. This hook is just too big for what I want to do. So, does it work? Yes. But I'd say there's some pros and cons to it, which we're about to discuss. As you saw, mystery tackle box items do indeed catch fish. However, there are some other cons that go along with the box. Number one, you don't get to pick what you want, which is part of the excitement, I get it. But also, as someone who's been fishing for a while, I typically know what I want, and that's what I want and I want to stick with. Now, granted, if you're somebody who loves testing out new gear every month, then absolutely the mystery tackle box is for you. But if you're someone who's like, I'm using tried and true, what I know, what I've always used, mystery tackle box is not for you. That would defeat the purpose of the mystery part. The other con that I found is, since you get like a random assortment, you might get gear that you actually can't use. Like in this case, I know I was sticking just to the box, so I can still use everything in here. But if this was literally all I had, I couldn't use those hooks to fish because they're too big for everything else in the box. And then that also means I wouldn't be able to use the soft plastics because no small enough hooks came with it to use. So while it's curated for a specific species and a specific price point, it's not curated in the fact that you're actually going to be able to use all the gear. And then again, you're spending money on gear that you won't ever use, and you're kind of stuck in the same spot that you would be if you just went out and bought gear that you wouldn't ever use. My other gripe complaint is they say it's a $40 value. Now, all the prices I looked up were online, they weren't sell prices, and we actually only got to $37. Now, it's $3. Is that really that much to gripe about? No. But when you advertise $40 worth of gear, I want $40 worth of gear, because otherwise I could go and buy $40 worth of gear that I actually will use and want, instead of spending the money on a mystery box that I don't know if I'll like the gear or not. So those are the quick cons that I found after my very first MTB opening, but it also came with a couple pros. Number one, it is really fun just to open and not know what's inside. It reminds me of like ripping Pokemon cards as a kid or ripping baseball cards as a kid. You didn't know what was in that 5 card or 10 card pack. You just opened it up and whatever you got, it was a surprise. Sometimes it was great, sometimes it was a dud. Now granted, back in the day, those packs were like $2, or maybe sometimes if you got a big bunch of packs, it was $10. So you weren't spending that kind of money like on this box of $30+, but it's still the equivalent of the mystery, the intrigue that you don't know what you're gonna get. The other pro is kind of negating my con in the fact that it does allow you to try out new lures that you typically wouldn't buy. So I've had the privilege throughout this channel, throughout my fishing career, to test out a bunch of fishing techniques, a bunch of fishing lures that I just would never have tried because I grew up fishing ponds. And I found what worked for me, and that's usually what I stuck with. But I've gotten better as an angler as I've learned and expanded, and I think that's what this box will do. It also comes with access to tips, which is awesome. So you can continue to learn and expand those new techniques, these new lures, and continue to become a better angler. So who the heck is Mystery Tackle Box for? I will say Mystery Tackle Box is for the people who enjoy the mystery, enjoy the unknown, who are excited to get a package every month and say, ooh, what's inside? I have no idea. And then go out and try new lures. It's not for the people who have their tried and true lures and that's all they're ever gonna use and throw. So if you're one of those people who enjoys the intrigue, then check out the link down in the description below where you can learn even more about Mystery Tackle Box. But if you're someone who likes just to enjoy fishing, check out the video playlist down below me where I've got several of my fun fishing adventures, and I can't wait to see you there.